Huh?
You gotta find the right zodiac sign.
Of course, because Gemini hasn't been working for me, and although the astrology says that a Gemini and a Leo match, it's actually the perfect comparison match within a Leo. It hasn't worked for me because the Gemini that I met was just a fuckboy. So outside of that, it's been very interesting. But I'm talking to somebody, and it's been great. It's been great, and I've felt liberated in a lot of ways because at one point I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna be alone for forever. And you know, I was getting in that sucking place that we say Kanye West is in. I was feeling in that sucking place, and I'm like, you know, if I talk to somebody, then I can't tell them that, you know, I have a character, Bona Simone, and you know, it's made me a lot of money, and everybody love it, and it's gotten people through chemotherapy because they watch my videos and they laugh hysterically that I'm able to entertain them. You know what I'm saying? I can't talk about it because immediately he's gonna be like, oh, you're RuPaul, let me walk away. You know what I'm saying? But this man over here has watched my Mona Simone video and doesn't really give a damn. And he's like, you need to bring Mona back. What's going on? Why you don't have Mona? What's up? Fuck the past. I'm here now. Don't worry about none of that bullshit. And it's very comforting to find someone that allows you to be authentically yourself and not complain and not bullshit. You know what I'm saying? So that's where I operate in the terms of falling for someone. I think you should be able to be yourself and whoever that is. And like you said, if you're not hurting somebody, then what's the problem? You know? So on that note, I guess we can end there. Yeah, that's good. All right. You ready? Yeah. You next to your buddy right here. You next to your buddy. You'll be fine. He'll keep you together.
You know you take a long time, right? So when you told me you wanted to see Avengers, I figured you would be ready by the time I got here. But instead,
I'm taking my time getting ready.
Who's been pepper sprayed in the face and almost got arrested. You know, I don't have as much as NFL players to lose, and if I was willing to put myself on the line, and you know, countless protesters are willing to do that, surely you can put yourself on the line and walk off the field because it's for the betterment of your people. What is the price tag that you have to pay on your integrity? What is the price tag that you have to pay on what this says about the black man, that the black man can be told as long you can be, your silence can be bought. That your silence and that your morality can be bought, and that even if you see people like you dying in the streets and you know that it's not right, you don't care enough because it's like, well, I got a mortgage to pay. You also got a $60 million contract.
There's no way that the NFL would survive if every player with melanin in their skin walked off the field. There's no way. But there's no way. There's no way. And for that, they would not be without salary for that long. This is how I feel about it.
That's true, but there's no way that would happen because you got to look at, like, there's too many of us and too many of our parents telling us that's what you need to do. That's what you got to do. You got to do this. You have to, if you go play ball, what have you. So these college kids are waiting, so it don't matter. They walk out of field, somebody else next. So
but see, it's a whole system because you even have college players who are now talking about like, we make millions for these universities. They don't get anything back. So it's not just, it's like black bodies are only valuable for white folks' entertainment. That's it. And so we've got to, at some point you got to say, all all right, well, if I'm no longer, if the black body's not here, how are you entertained? How are you making money?
And just break it down real quick and just think about why are we able to do what we're able to do right now? Because people in the past sacrificed and definitely said enough is enough. So I feel like people on that level, if they decided to remotely even think like that, then enough would be enough, and we could honestly make some changes. And I don't know. I just feel like in numbers we can definitely create waves. You know what I'm saying? Because even look at Colin Kaepernick. I mean, he's making waves, but I feel like he's by himself. You know what I'm saying? And all these players are still going out to play.
It shouldn't just be NFL players. It should be
basketball
players. Baseball players.
Because come on.
I mean, where's that spirit of Jackie Robinson that was like enough is enough?
That's right.
When are we gonna like recognize that? Those people back in the 60s and the 70s and the height of the civil rights movement didn't have a fraction of what some of these players had. But they were willing to walk off from their jobs. They were willing to get arrested. They were willing to get in the streets. They were willing to get beat on a bridge. They're willing to do all of those things. Have to leave the country. It's unfortunate that when we talk about black leaders, we have to talk about the fact that if you want to be a leader, then you have to be willing to be killed. You have to be willing to possibly have your family killed. All of these different things. They're not facing all of that right now. We're just talking about contracts. If there's a mass exodus, trust me, they will figure out a way to make it work.
Right. I got a little point too. Now, I mean, we got the players obviously, but then I always say all the time, what you've heard me say. What we spend our money on is our strongest protest. So you still got all these different people. We got white people who are down for the black cause. You got black people who are down for the black cause and asking for our rights. But there are still people that are going to the games, and there's still people buying the jerseys. There's still people paying for their subscription packages on their cable company. There's still people putting their money in on their brackets. There's still people doing all of that. So yeah, the players can protest. Yeah, as I think somebody said, you know, somebody else is going to come in and fill up their spot. But at the same time, if what really matters to the NFL is how much money they're bringing in for ticket sales and for merchandise and all this stuff, if you hit them with that, as you know, I know hundreds of people who spend thousands of dollars on their season passes all across the country. If you start seeing people stop doing that, then yeah, then maybe they might hear that. But a player or a couple of players or all the black players saying, "No, we're not going to play anymore," and they just go to all the universities and pick up some kid whose mom is on Section 8 and they don't have a car, they don't care. You know what I'm saying? But if their money starts to get affected, then that's when things will change. But we're too busy wanting to have our entertainment as well that we won't make those changes. And I would think once that happens, then yeah, we'll see some change, but we're too busy being entertained.
Can I say something? Why do we, as far as the people, expect the players, the football players to do something, make a stand, sit down? Why we don't watch? Why we stop watching? No, why? Right. Because it's not affecting us, it's going to affect them. That's what I'm saying about black people. For example, I know I'm going to go back to the Trump thing. In the 80s and 90s and early 2000s, rappers talk about Trump, taking pictures with Trump. So why y'all not saying nothing about that then? Because you know what? It was in their favor. They knew he was racist back then because it was a favor. So y'all want to talk about all this stuff? We should do that. As long as it ain't affecting you, you're not gonna do it. That's just in black folks. So I know people gonna look at me like, oh, Trump. I don't like Trump. Don't know the brother. I know he's racist, but I understand why Kanye West, as far as Kanye West is friends with him, because he didn't do nothing wrong to him. I was with the Loyalty.
I still don't.
That's all I'm saying.
I still don't see it.
That's all I'm saying, brother. See, that's the problem with black folks.
I still don't see it that way. But you are right. You are right. There were a lot of rappers in the '90s that would always talk about got Donald Trump money. Donald Trump was in so many different rap songs in the '90s. It wasn't funny. But there are also. That doesn't mean that all rappers are right. We definitely know that all rappers aren't right. And many of those rappers who were making those raps were also very young in their infancy. Kanye is not young in his career. He's a grown man at this point. He's been in the game long enough to know. And as a rapper who has made social justice stances before. I'm one of those people that I don't necessarily need all of my artists to definitely be activists. Okay. I don't, because sometimes maybe it's best that you keep your mouth shut. Maybe you should just focus on your art. Maybe you don't have anything to really contribute to the movement. But if you're going to get in it and you're going to say things, make sure that you're at least saying things that are in the best interest of the people who put those millions in your pockets.
He's just a loose cannon. Like, he must not have anyone around him that he trusts to like check him and be like,
his mom, he has Kim.
Like,
what is Kim gonna do?
Exactly.
I just said that just because y'all I just said that just to get y'all riled up. I knew that was gonna get y'all riled up.
She is nigga taking a picture right now. What are you talking about?
I think what he's doing is working for him. And honestly, it's working for him because the conversation is still around Kanye West.
For him to-
And whether you get that
It's working for him. It's working for him right now. But I will say this. You know, karma is a bitch.
It is.
And when you fuck over the people that have always had your back and that have always supported you, it might work out for you in the short term. But trust me, there's gonna be a day where Kanye West needs black folk, and we're gonna be like,
I'm pretty sure.
We'll take him back.
Y'all watch football?
We won't.
not anymore.
They took
Okay, so now that makes
What about
sense.
Tiger?
If everybody does that, then it makes a change.
So then let me ask y'all. Let's switch gears for a second. Let me ask Sir David. Sir David, do you think that it was a trap that Kendrick Lamar set for that poor white woman when he brought her up on stage to recite his song? I think she was singing his song, and then tell her, "Hold on, wait, you can't say that one word that's in my song."
Do I think it was a trap?
Yeah.
Can you hold Mike?
I don't think that Kendrick Lamar assumed every single white fan that he has is racist and would not know any better or be ignorant to the fact that you cannot say that word. So I wouldn't sit up here and say, oh, it's absolutely his fault. He should have known better. Like, that's ridiculous. That's just like accepting like racism to me. Like, no, there's still rules even though you sing the fucking song. It's not a game. Like, you cannot say that.
That's very interesting.
She didn't realize that.
I would have to disagree with that. The reason why I disagree with that is because honestly, I think that if you don't want somebody to say the word, don't fucking say the word. And for me, if you are gonna bring a white person on your stage to recite your song, then if I feel like if it really was that much of a big deal to him, then he should have said, hey, should have whispered, hey, I know you about to rap my song, but do me a favor, don't say the N-word for me, please. Because I don't want that. No, because
it was a trap, and yes, damn right. Because now let's be known. Now let's be known that everybody who's white, hello.
Oh yeah, that's it. I like that.
Not Kanye West, the antithesis of Kanye West. Don't say that.
Yeah.
Y'all know Kanye out here running around saying crazy things and letting y'all think that y'all can do out here and say whatever. I'm gonna let it be known. Let me set an example and make an example out of you on this stage. I got no problem with that.
She was just rapping the song. She was just rapping the song. She wasn't thinking outside of that. She was just rapping the song.
She was pleased. You know what he was doing.
That's what I'm saying. That was just crazy.
Let's keep it 100. If you have the cultural experience to be able to be comfortable enough to say that, especially on that type of because I got friends who have been pulled over, sat on the curb with me. You can say nigga. You can absolutely you can say nigga. You've been through nigga moments with me. You've had chairs thrown at you. For me, my personal opinion.
I think
that's white America who's
That's one word that you cannot say.
Please check in with your. He do not speak for all of us.
No, it's just around him.
your
There's a
friend.
difference. There's a difference.
But that's
They might not know that.
Hold on.
I would tell him you can't say that out and for like if you're around me. I didn't finish. You can't if you're around me. You can say that, and I'm not gonna have a problem with you saying it. But just understand that if you get around other black people, they may not feel the same way. They don't have the same.
Don't be right there. Here's what
I think you can't survive without saying one word. Like, you can't take one word out your vocabulary.
My thing is this.
Right, you got everything else. You can't say that.
I watched this video earlier today. I watched this video early today where it just proved to me that black people are as powerful as we want to be. And what happened in the video was there was this white couple, a husband and a wife, and their daughter of some sort or whatever, and the wife was going to allow the daughter to piss in the pool, but it was a apartment community pool, I think, and there were black people at the pool. So the black people protested and was like, oh hell no, we're not about to let that happen. And then one of the ladies started recording the two white folk, and the white man was antagonizing the person recording the phone, but then the wife walked away and she said, oh fuck this black nigger, fuck her, she's just a black bitch. Did the black lady beat her up? No. Did the black lady try to throw hands? No. The black lady was like, girl, you don't faze me because I already know why you're trying to use that word. You're trying to get me riled up. So then the white lady came came back and said, fuck you, black nigger, with the ER. You're a black nigger. Fuck you. Did the black lady get out of character? No, because she already knew that this white person was trying to use the power of that word to get under her skin and rile her up. It wasn't until the white lady went to go put her hands on the black lady that that black lady was about to thump on that girl. So my point is, you guys give power to that word whenever you want to give power to that word, and I don't think that that's a good thing. One day it's good to say it, one day it's not good to say it. The girl came up to sing your fucking song. If you really had a problem with it, you should have said something. And I feel like just the same way that we're attacking Kanye West for things that he shouldn't have done. I feel like this woman was innocent in the sense that she was just supporting her artist. She loves some Kendrick Lamar. Oh my God, I'm about to get on stage and do this. Oh my God, I'm about to be seen by millions of people. Instead of relishing in that positive energy, we stopped her moment because she recited something in his song, and we made her look foolish by acting like she should have known something already. And that's just crazy to me. That concept is crazy to me.
How do you know that's how she was thinking? Millions of people.
I don't, but at the same time, I don't know if
she is fucked up.
You know she doesn't.
We don't.
One of the things that we need to recognize is that most people in America are racist, whether they believe it or not. It's so ingrained and it's so innate. It's almost like saying
that's a powerful
hello.
Statement.
It's almost like saying hello. I mean,
that's a powerful statement.
Well, when you say
it's
most people,
also a truthful statement. It's also a very truthful statement. Until white supremacy is so ingrained in society, it's so embedded in us, and we learn it from grade school in terms of what you learn, what's valuable, what's not valuable. So it's so ingrained in us that it's almost second nature. So most folks in America are racist and don't really recognize it. Now you have some folks who take it to racism is not always a burning cross on your yard. It's when I see a black person on the street, I cross the other side of the street. Or it's I don't see value in teaching black history. We only teach white history in this school because that's what's in the book.
So the definition of racist, a person who shows or feels discrimination or prejudice against people of other races or who believes that a particular race is superior to another. I don't feel that I'm racist. I really don't.
Excuse me. Let me
Black people can be racist.
Right. Let me re-clarify that.
Some people don't even think that black people can be racist because we don't have a level of power to be racist.
I subscribe to that.
So, but then that's when I say that you need to challenge what you just said, because you just said that there are more than not, there are quite a few of us that are racist and don't even know it.
I'm sorry, most white folks in America are racist and don't even know it.
Oh, so we're just talking about white people.
I think black people can definitely be racist. You got a group of black people and you got one white person, you're gonna be thinking that white person, and there will be energy about it, and it is what it is.
They can be prejudiced, but they can't be racist.
You won't say if you don't think color, if you don't think color and black, that's a white person. You thinking color right now?
No. But that thinking color doesn't make you racist, implying that one, they're inferior, and because I'm black and they're the only white person here, I feel as though I can do something.
So you have to show action to be racist?
Racism is an action. It's an act as well. It's not just something.
No, but if you're thinking about it, that's just because it's not out there.
Thinking about color doesn't necessarily make you racist. Applying a thought to that color of inferiority and also implying an action, that's what makes you racist.
Agreed.
That's what makes you racist. And so for me, I just feel like it's so inbred in America. It's as American as American pie, apple pie. It is what America is. America was founded on racism. It just was. It's not up for debate. It's a fact.
All right. Well, that particular topic and comment can go on and on and on and on and on and on. And we've talked about it a lot on Culture Club, especially with the Olivias of the world and the Larrys of the world. And thank the Lord that they are not here at this particular time, because I'm sure Olivia would have ate the Kanye West topic up. She would have ate all that up, and we just would have been going to town, and they would have loved to have seen John Says Here. But before we get off this episode, I want to touch upon this man's topic right here. Mr. Mikey wanted to talk about jealousy versus envy. So express your concern with that.
Oh, well, I was having a conversation with somebody, and they were saying that they were jealous of their friend. Their friend got like this new car. And I said, no, you're not jealous of your friend. You're envious of your friend. Envy implies something being taken away from you. It's something. Jealousy implies somewhat. And so we're just having a conversation back and forth about that. And they were asking, kind of like, what could they do to not feel that way? And for me, I couldn't give them an answer. I told them I feel like jealousy or envy are like emotional poison. And they just have to run their course. You have to find your way to get over it on your own. So I just want to know what everybody else's opinion was about that. Jealousy and envy.
I think you have to pray on that. Because I know I was dealing with that for a minute. Just being inside the entertainment game or what have you. I have a friend who's definitely my type or whatever, like as far as an actor, definitely my type and things of that sort. And he started booking a lot more than I was. But this is a friend who came to me probably a week prior to before he started booking all this mainstream TV stuff. And he was like, Tony, man, I don't know what's going on. I'm not booking nothing. I'm a little frustrated. Everyone else is. And I gave him great advice. Dude, it's going to happen for you. It's timing. It's going to happen whenever it's our time, whatever. We can't choose these roles. These roles are going to choose us or what have you. But then he started booking. Mind you, I'm auditioning for these same things. And I'm like, how does man start getting this? And I felt some type of way, and I hated that I started feeling that way.
You all right?
And nobody attacked you yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, back on that, you know what I mean? Like, it can play a big part of us. So I've learned, and my mom kind of told me, this is just my way of dealing with it. It's praying on it and be able to get that out of you. Because like you said, it is an emotion, it's a feeling and things that sort. Of course, when you want something so bad, because I know that I want to be very successful inside this industry and game and stuff like that bad, it's gonna play a part on my emotions and how I feel about something or whatever. But at the same time, like I think that once I kind of really got happy for someone and said, well, that's for you, not for me. Mine is coming because I'm happy for you. Mine is coming. It's gonna come. It may not be tomorrow, it may not be next week, but when it does come, it's gonna be mine, and I want everybody to be happy for me.
So do you think that particular situation was envy or jealousy or a little bit of both?
I would say, I think envy.
Yeah.
Because jealousy, I think that's a lot more personal. I feel like that's a little bit more hateful.
It is. Jealousy is someone. It's a person.
Yeah.
It's a direct person. Envy is something.
Okay, yeah. So definitely, I would definitely say that it's more envious. Because jealousy, like I don't see that part.
Yeah.
I don't see that part. That has too much
Like-
hate, and I stay away from the hate.
Have you ever been jealous or envious or something? And how do you deal with it?
Yeah, I use it to motivation. For example, look at David. He got a nice fine. So if I see him at the gym, I might look at him to see what he's doing to work out and motivate me to do better. So it's how you use it. Like if you got a good car, like damn, what you do to get that car? How you get your credit score?
Right.
It's how you think. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That was a great point, because on that note, because that's what I did next. I asked my friend, I said, what you been doing different? Who you been taking classes from? What you been learning? And so that that makes a lot of sense.
Vic, are you jealous or envious of? Have you had those emotions or those feelings?
Man, you know what? I have a lot of really successful friends, and a lot of times I'm like, okay, whoa. But my focus has always been be thankful for that person's success, and then because I'm around them, just like you were saying, ask them how they did what they did. Humble yourself to the aspect, because a lot of times we get all proud and we get all puffed up and we get all built up and we want to act like we know everything that it takes to achieve what we want to achieve, and then we see somebody else achieving what we're not achieving, so then now we're upset. Well, if you go and ask that person, 9 times out of 10, people are willing to share what they've done. Like, if you saw him in the gym, or you guys saw each other in the gym, and you're like, yo, I want to, how are you doing that? What stance are you using to be able to move the weight? He's going to share that with you, but if you sit over in the corner like, I'm pissed off because I can't do what he's doing, then you're not going to progress yourself forward, because you're not humbling yourself to go and be like, yo, teach me this. Yo,
But what if it's from the context of a competition? That you are adamantly competing for resources.
Well, I always say, and this is how I live, because I listen to a lot of interviews from a lot of different people, and from a lot of successful people that I've seen, they're not in competition with anybody other than themselves. So if you're wanting yourself to progress forward, then you need to ask yourself where you want to be, and then look and surround yourself with people who put you in the space where you want to be, and they are able to propel you forward, if that makes sense.
It does.
So yeah, that's my thought process.
Have you ever experienced jealousy or envy?
I have. Those aren't feelings that I feel like I experience now often, just because I really recognize like my niche is my niche, my lane is my lane. I'm not in competition with anyone else, and resources are not scarce. That's like that's a perspective that is oftentimes used to divide us into thinking that we have to be in competition with one another because if I have, that means that you don't. No. That means if I have, that means I've learned how to have, and I can teach that information and share the skills and the resources that I have so that you can have too. I don't surround myself with people who operate in a scarcity mindset because I feel like those people are dangerous because they're willing to do anything to have resources, but all you have to do is ask because resources are infinite. There's not this idea that there's not enough money out here for all of us to get it. That's BS. Like there's enough resources out here. The world is infinite. There's enough resources out here for us to all have it. But if we are constantly feeling like I have to be like them, I always just say like, let me be great so that you can be great. Be the Beyonce. Let's all be the Beyonce of whatever it is that you're supposed to be doing. So not be Beyonce, but be the Beyonce of whatever it is. So if you are a master painter, be the Beyonce of painting.
Yep.
You know, if you are a real estate agent, be the Beyonce of real estate agents. And guess what? There can be multiple Beyoncés of real estate agents because there's a million homes out there to sell.
Right, true.
So we're not out in competition with one another. That I really think is a perspective, particularly for black folks, that is used to divide us.
Yeah.
Which goes back to slavery, of course, but
Yeah, because we was always taught that was
Yeah.
one.
Yeah. Favorite.
Yeah.
Right, because
Yeah.
you don't see white folks out here like in the streets fighting each other for resources because they know, like rich white folks, they know.
There's
if
more.
I'm around, where do rich white people live? What, around other rich white people? They're not afraid of Steve down the block, having more money because it's like, oh well, if everybody else on the block is making more money, then I guess I'm on the right block.
that's right.
You know what I'm saying? But for us, it's like, oh, they got a Benz down there. So that means I can't get a Benz. There's 10 million Benzes down at the dealership. You just need to figure out how they got their Benz and ask a question.
Yeah, be
All the
okay.
resources are there.
Be okay with asking.
I'm gonna stretch a little bit because I heard you make reference to, and I'm gonna paraphrase because I can't remember the specifics, but made reference to certain people get to where they are because they've done certain things. So I'm gonna stretch and take that and divert it to David. If you found out, because David is an uber Nicki Minaj fan or stan, which one?
It doesn't matter.
We just love it.
I love you.
So a stan is somebody that you can't tell them anything about who they care for. Like Beyonce's have stans. No matter what, Beyonce is just gonna be all the way up here all the time. That's a stan. But a fan can dissect their artist and take the good and the bad and say, okay, well listen, maybe you should do this. So if you found out that Nicki Minaj got to where she is right now because she had to sleep her way through the industry, would you look at her differently?
Of course. Like your whole marketability, well, the main part of it is supposed to be your talent. When you call yourself an artist and a rapper, there's jobs attached to that. You just can't you have to work hard and you have to display your talent to get to where you are.
So would you say you would have a level of let down, disrespect? You would look at her like in a negative way?
She always talks about how she don't sleep around or so of course.
So that's my question to the panel is, should we care how someone got somewhere or should we not? That's my question.
I think the culture is shifting a little bit. We'll look at our first lady, for instance. Like, I've taken some new pictures. I'm just saying, like,
it's not a good lesson to teach people.
The culture is shifting where I think people are starting to care more about what you do versus how you got there. Like, okay, Cardi B. You know what I'm saying? I love the work. I love where she's reached. coming from where she's come from. You know, I know Nicki Minaj says that she hasn't slept around and this, that, and the other, but then at the same time, when you look at, you know, all these different people are saying what Bill Cosby did to them for them to be able to reach to the level of their success. You never necessarily know what somebody's had to do to get to their level of success, and you don't know, you know, what kind of stresses that it's been, but they're where they're at, and you're listening to their music, and you're being encouraged, or you're getting whatever you're getting, and that's what it matters at the end of the day, I think.
I don't knock nobody hustle. I don't care how you do it, as long as you're not harming nobody. That's just me. Everybody's a hustle.
So if Oprah slutted and slutted her entire body out to the masses to be a billionaire today, your image of her would not change.
No.
Not if y'all gonna hold Trump and put Matt Lauer on a pedestal.
Right.
I mean, you understand what I'm saying? I just feel like, for me, the difference is that if you are out here preaching one thing,
right,
and then we find out you're doing another, that's disingenuous. That's disingenuous. But I think the reason why people respect Cardi B and not the First Lady, the reason why people respect Cardi B is because Cardi B owns her shit. She's always been, this is who the fuck I am, this is who I've always been, this is how I got here, I'm just a regular degular chick from the Bronx, you know, that had a fat ass and was stripping, you know what I'm saying, and worked my way from there. She was honest about who she was, you understand? So but, you know, with Melania out here reading to kids in school and acting like all of this, that, and the third, one, your immigration paperwork ain't been all the way right, you was nude in all these magazines and this, that, and the third, but somehow you want people to fit this very Christian, evangelical, right, conservative values because that's what your husband had to do to become president. You're a fraud. So that's the difference in terms of why I can't respect her hustle, because you ain't being upfront about your hustle.
If she changed her views and her ways about her, and she is who she is today, not in the past, then you need to respect that she has changed. So then you looking at people past and that's who they are today.
Because my thing is that she's still standing next to a president. Right. She's still standing next to a president.
No, she don't hold it. She don't hold it. If your immigration
paperwork wasn't all the way right, why are you still standing next to a president that's willing to deport all of these people? You know your paperwork and your visa wasn't all the way right, but you got
that wasn't her view. That's not her lane. Like you said, your lane is your lane.
But it now has become your lane.
No, it hasn't.
Well, you can't agree.
You assume
can't agree with everything your partner does. Like that, I don't think you can never agree with everything your partner.
Well, then divorce him.
No, you can't.
What?
If you can't, you have to disagree. No,
this is what I believe. No. We're not talking about a disagreement. We're not talking about a disagreement. We're talking about you becoming the president of the United States of America, and your decisions impact me and the rest of the country.
I know the rest of the country, but you can't affect their relationship.
But let's just say for 1 second that we all have different mindsets. We all have different pasts. We all have different history, and we all come up very differently. So our worldview of, let's just say, politics, your worldview of politics and how you understand it is completely different than a Melania Trump. To where I'm sure she had no idea what the fuck she was getting herself into.
But now
then marrying this man and then being pushed into a life of she's a billionaire. She's with a billionaire. So before the presidency and everything came into play, her mind was just on something completely different. Now it had to have shifted to where now she's just all the way up here, and now she has to worry about this and shit. That's a whole different.
Her slack?
No, I'm not saying her slack, but at the same time, you don't need to do anything. But I understand what they're saying, because when you operate in a world that you're not accustomed to, or when you're forced to operate in a world that you're not remotely accustomed to at all, there has to be some kind of give and take. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I just feel like there's still, you know what's right and you know what's wrong.
Agreed.
That's not her choice to fight that.
But it's like to death do us part, baby. But if it was right, so if it was right for you, why can't it be right for everybody else?
You talking about a moral standpoint?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Morals
Who's to say she's that way? That's what you're getting. That's what you're assuming.
But you're the first lady of the United States.
And what does that title mean?
It means a lot.
That means a lot.
It means a lot to you.
That means a lot to you. No.
but that's what I'm going back to the point.
If Michelle Obama was exactly the way, if Michelle Obama was exactly the way Melania Trump was, Barack would not been president.
Michelle Obama
He would
was
not been president.
Everything Melania Trump is not and was still called everything but a child of God. She was a gorilla. Her children were gorillas. The Secret Service didn't keep them safe.
That's why I said she's a man.
But you gotta understand, she was in the political realm.
No, she wasn't. She was a corporate attorney. She wasn't in the political realm. That was always Barack Obama's thing. She stood by her man. But one of the other things I did appreciate.
You can't
one of the
compare
other
the two.
things that I did.
Can.
But I think what the other
Melania and Michelle Obama. There's no way.
Why are we willing? We help Michelle
You go
Obama
by
to such a
intelligence.
high.
We
to such a
did.
high.
No, we didn't. White people did.
I did.
White people
I
did.
did.
I did.
I helped her.
But why though?
you. Why?
Why?
Because she's the president.
America did. America
That's
held
a
it to this
position of
high
power.
standard, and now all of a sudden, because Melania was a supermodel and she doesn't have a degree from a law school and all of this stuff, we're supposed to cut her slack?
Right.
No.
No, we don't.
No.
Nope.
She's got billions and billions of dollars. Google it. Learn something.
She is
Right.
right.
But if it's not her fight, it's not her fight. Whether you want her to be, that's her fight, but it's not.
It's not even about her fight. It's about what's right.
You keep
if
taking-
if it was cool for you and your paperwork not to be legit when you was over here on your visa, why is it not cool for everybody else?
I think it's you fighting for the job. You and your best friend, both of y'all got the qualification. You need a job. He need a job. Who you want to get the job?
What does that have to do with
You
Melania
get
Trump?
my point is I'm saying
I
to
don't
say
know the
this
context
is
of that.
what is best for you. You assume because
Public service requires that when you become the First Lady of the United States, you have a staff. Okay, it's not like she's just living in the White House. She has a whole staff. She has a chief of staff. She's got her own security detail. She's got the perks that come with the job. It is a job. Michelle Obama didn't work while she was First Lady of the United States, and she's got more credentials than Barack.
right.
Her job was the First Lady. So it is your job. Public service does require a certain level of sacrifice. It just does.
Selfless.
So, I mean,
That includes
and integrity.
having that. Okay, good.
okay. So clearly, there's a separation here, which is great. That's why I love Culture Club, because it's diverse opinions. I love it. We're gonna shift gears a little bit, and where is he at? Gene HD _01 wants us to talk about if your friend does you dirty, should you automatically forgive them?
So that's gonna be directly. I mean, you know,
Oh, that hit a nerve. That hit a
Yes, they got a hard nerve.
nerve. Okay.
I have to walk off stage with you. Oh gosh.
Right, because
So,
that's what name.
I appreciate you pointing me directly.
I'm only saying, I'm only pointing to you because there's a lot of chatter on this side.
I got it.
So I'm trying to balance
Well, I mean,
the panel.
it's something near and dear to my heart because you know a lot of times people, I strongly believe that when someone shows you who they are, you have to believe them the first time, not the second time, not the third time. So now somebody can do you wrong and they can ask for forgiveness, they can apologize, and you can forgive them, and you can say all these different things. We're cool, we're good, but at the same time, you still have to make sure that you can let this person in back into your life, but you don't have to let that person back into your life on the same level that you had them in your life before, because now you're opening yourself up to be disrespected again or to have that same kind of thing happen again. Now, ask the question one more time.
If your friend does you dirty, should you automatically forgive them?
And I would say it depends on how dirty they did you.
Okay. David?
You know?
Yeah, it depends on the level of dirt we're talking about. Like if it's, you know, if it's something that's really detrimental to the friendship, then I don't know. You know, it's like he said, you can't necessarily. When you do forgive them, you can't necessarily have them in the same, you know, realm in your life. You have to kind of readjust yourself because now you see what they're capable of. So. Yeah, it depends.
Can I throw something else in there too?
Sure.
I would say sometimes you can't allow somebody in and kind of like, you know, so say you were all like, you had jumped in the bucket all the way completely with this person. And then they did something foul as shit to you. So then now you jumped out the bucket, but then they've come in, they've apologized. So you can put like a toe in there, but then as time goes on, you can kind of slowly allow people to, you know, regain trust because trust has to be reestablished. But if they're not making those steps and they're not making those efforts, then you can still have them, you can still have your toe in there, but you never jump full-fledged back in because you already know what to kind of expect because they've shown it already. That's all I got.
Sir Dante.
You know what you can and can't handle.
Right.
So to me, that's more an individual between that friend because I might let you mess up once, I might let you mess up 3 times. So you know what you can and can't handle.
So would you automatically forgive them? I'm asking you.
I can, yes.
Okay.
And treat them as if they didn't make the mistake.
Okay. Well, like to piggyback off what he's saying, it's up to you what you decide that you want to put up with. I think if someone does something to you the first time, then obviously you can be like, okay, we can chalk this up as a mistake. Communicate. You know how I feel. I know how you felt about the situation. Let's not have this happen again. If it happens again, then you need another conversation because now it's not a mistake, it's a choice. They're choosing to hurt you or harm you or whatever is happening. They're choosing to do that and you're choosing to allow it by continuing to have this person in your space. I think that everyone has the ability to change. It's up to them if they're going to want to. I've been done wrong a couple times by friends. Some of them I chose to completely write them the fuck off and not speak to them ever again. And then some of them, y'all met him before on Culture Club. We stopped talking, and it ended up being what? No, it's not. It's the truth.
It's not messy at all.
That would be messy. That would be messy saying talking his name. And who y'all think I'm talking about? I'm not going through all the videos. No, but here's the thing: who y'all think I'm talking about? I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about somebody else. And we had
help him more.
We had an issue, and long story short, out of the blue, he hit me up like last week. It was like, hey, what's going on? And my response was a negative. My response was an abrupt situation. Like I wasn't whatever. I was like, hey, how you doing? And then he didn't right away go into the elephant in the room. I went into the elephant in the room. Why? Because I'm a Leo. Because in my mind, I'm like, okay, why are you hitting me up? Why are we talking? You know we don't talk anymore. What's up? So when I invited the elephant in the room inside the room, we were able to actually, as adults, as mature adults, talk about the situation and realize that we were both in 2 different spaces and both had things really, really confused about what was really happening and what had transpired. So outside of us being able to communicate, we was like, oh shit, really? You felt that way, I felt that way? Okay, we were idiots, we were stupid. Okay, well, now we don't have a beef anymore. Unfortunately, we let 2 years pass until this conversation happened, but I believe that, when you get down to it and you try to figure out what really was the root cause, I mean, you could be mad at somebody for no reason and they could be thinking something completely different until y'all have that communication.
I think that's a little different though. That's not like if the person knows that they did you wrong, like they know you and they know what buttons to push.
But that's why I'm just reiterating the fact that it's up to you, and if you decide to let that person back in your life, then you let that person
because
back
logically and statistically speaking, how often have you forgiven somebody, put them in that same space, and then they do the same fuck up? Like more often than not. Or maybe it's just me.
Maybe it's just you.
Maybe it's just me.
I don't know. I don't know. What do y'all think? Tony? Oh, this is the personal side. So something has happened on this side here with forgiving the friend automatically. What's going on?
No, I'm pretty good at. No, But the thing is, because I've been on. This is
a Gemini, by the way. So we got a Leo, we got a Gemini.
Right.
What are you? Libra, Leo, Gemini, Aquarius, Pisces. Okay.
So I know that I'm good at I guess cutting in a way, because I can move on and forget that person exists in some ways.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? But I do understand that forgiveness part because I've done it. You know what I mean? But I've been on both sides as a Gemini. I've been a horrible friend sometimes. Yeah, that's just the realness of the situation. And I wanted forgiveness, but I had to do things to make sure that they understood that I was in a different place and I've changed and stuff like that. So I believe like if I have a friend that does something completely dreadful, what have you, I'm gonna give it a little time. We ain't gonna talk for a year or something like that. Give me 6 months to a year, what have you, for me to clear my head and understand it and understand there could have been a reason why or what have you. And let's clear it up. But you won't be back inside that same space. It's gonna be a little bit more because there's been a wall that's been built. So we gotta knock that down. We gotta knock it down together. So the only way we can do that is that time. I feel like time does heal a lot of things. So for me, it's just like, I can forgive you, but I just need, give me a little time and things of that sort, you know. Just
I must be
time.
a different type of Gemini because for me it's like
You're a May Gemini.
Once I can't trust you, it's like I can't use you anymore. Like you're just.
Oh, that's cool. All right.
Any friend.
I can't use
You're supposed
you
to benefit
anymore.
from any friendship that you have. You're not supposed to just have friends that just kind of just sit around and don't elevate.
And you know what you're saying?
That's true. That's real true.
Because we know, and I thought about, somebody was like, a lot of people were like, oh my God, y'all have been friends for so long. What, don't let that go.
Their usefulness has run out.
But I had to think about it and really look at it, and they've never had a usefulness in my life.
Right.
Like, I've never needed it in my life. So
How many
it's
times
like,
you figured that out?
yeah, it made it easier for me.
But yeah, that time is everything. But I get what you're saying, like that usefulness. Like that's why I say I know I can cut, and it can be done, and I literally will forget who you are. And when you call, like, could you see me?
But why even have them
Don't remember
around
you.
though?
Who?
Like, but why have them? Like, why put yourself through that process of even having that middleman to say, "Oh, I don't even fuck with you." Why
Right.
just not eliminate them?
Well, that's what I'm saying. That's what the forget part is like, because I'm not good with people anyway. Like as far as like the memorization of people, if you don't affect me.
I love when he be putting words together.
He said,
Yeah, I do. I create my own words. We talk about that all the time.
That's what I said.
Yeah,
So you two, what's going on? What happened? Who fucked with y'all?
I'm gonna be
Y'all
honest.
upset. What happened?
I'm gonna be 1,000%, and I had to switch.
1,000%.
No, 1,000%. It was 2016. And it was this boy that I liked, right? I liked him like a whole lot. I was falling for him, and I had a best friend at the time. Me and him had been best friends for a whole decade. And he told me, he was like, Mike, go ahead, talk to him. Don't be scared, like, talk to him. Like, he coaching me, building me up to talk to him and stuff like that. And so, it gets to the point where I tell the boy how I feel. The boy tell me he likes my best friend. And my best friend had a conversation about it. He was like, no, I don't like him. That's not what it is. That's what it's gonna be. No, it's not like that, Mike. Like, this is crazy. So we went to an event, or whatnot. At the event, people walking up to me and him, they asking him, yo, where is such and such? And I'm like, why does everybody keep asking you about such and such? Oh, we're not gonna do this here. What the fuck are we not gonna do? I wanna know what's going on. Come to find out, the whole time that he was telling me to talk to the boy, he was talking to the boy, and they were about to move in together.
What?
What? Why would, that's a crazy
I'm gonna
setup.
tell you, I lost my mind. Literally lost my mind. You ever seen Acrimony?
Yeah.
It was like that.
You didn't throw an axe to his leg, did
My
you?
father had to take a baseball bat to my leg to keep me from trying to go to his house and mess him up. I have not seen that boy since November 15, 2016. We live in Atlanta, and I know he still exists because people ask me, hey, where is such and such?
That's weird, though.
When I see him, it's gonna happen. There is no forgiveness. There is no amount of time that will do that betrayal. Because all the stuff we had been through, when I tell you we were like Batman and Superman, that's exactly how we described each other. The stuff we went through, everything.
Why you can't just let it go, bro?
Why?
You have a son, man. Police can get
Why
involved.
can't I
Stuff
let it go?
that.
You wanna tell you why- I'm gonna tell you.
I'm just saying.
The reason
long term.
I
I'm not
can't
talking
let it
temporarily,
go.
brother.
The reason I can't let it go is because I'm a great ass friend. There are a few things in my life I have not failed at. Fatherhood is one.
Right.
Being a great brother is two.
Right.
Being a great friend is three.
Okay.
Not a single one of my friends can ever tell you that I failed them in any situation, that Michael Fanning does not come through. And that one was the one true friend that I trusted and loved. Like that was my brother. Like that was my reflection, I felt like.
All I'm saying, bro, you just said something on that he can use against you. That's all I'm saying, my
No,
bro.
that's fine.
I'm saying just think long
But see, I'm
term.
smart. But see, I'm smart. But I'm smart.
Okay, yes, sir.
But I'm smart. So I ain't worried about that. I know it's gonna happen eventually or whatnot. But my thing is, it depends on the context of the situation. If it's something we missed lunch or you just been a little distant a few weeks, I can forgive that. But when you go to stealing my money, when you go to messing with somebody that I'm with or trying to get at, or you messing with family members and stuff like that, some things are unforgivable, and I will cut you off or find you.
Okay.
That's just all it is to
All
it. So,
right.
no, it depends on the situation to make things short.
All right, Devin.
He meditating over
I
there.
am. You know, that's so funny that you said meditative because
That's what I see.
you know, I would say over the last year and a half, I've been on a different spiritual walk, and for me, I really feel like even in some of the most trying situations that I've been in with friends or just people in general who have done me wrong, I work in the political space, so that happens a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Forgiveness is for me. It's for me. So like, I'm not forgiving you for you. It's so that I can have peace from the situation, so that I can relinquish this thing, so I can let it go. Because I don't feel like there's any friendship that it's like, this is not the cross that I need to be nailed to, you know? So for me, like, if our friendship has just not, it's just run its course. Some friendships do run its course. And so if it's been, you've done me so dirty to the point where like, our time is done, then our time is done. But I don't desire for our time to be done in a way where I walk away with malice in my heart towards you. I know what you did, you know what you did, we should maybe have a conversation about it, but at the end of it, like, I'm forgiving you for me because I don't want to walk around with that type of baggage, that type of hurt, that type of trauma, because when you do, you re-traumatize and you re-victimize yourself and other people that come into your sphere, whether you realize it or not. And I don't want to be damaged in that way.
So would you say the definition of forgiveness for you is to be at peace with whatever the situation is within yourself, not necessarily bringing them back into your life, but being okay that if you see them in public, it's not a deal. It's not a deal.
Well, no, you did.
He was like, don't say it on camera. Don't say it on camera.
That battery, bro. I know so many cops. They can, bro. I can call police right now and say you hit me.
I
You going to jail?
understand.
I'm just saying. I'm just saying in general. I can call police right now with no evidence, no nothing. Say you hit me. The police can say, "Oh, you going to jail for a simple battery." Just based on what I say. So I'm saying just be careful about what you say.
Dante, should love hurt? Underscore Lakaya wants to know, should love hurt? Lakaya wants to know this. She going through it.
Love hurt. What? Good love?
Yes.
Should love hurt,
Yes.
and you say that love should hurt.
Yes.
Because
Right. Let's go into that a little bit. Why should love hurt? For you, if love hurt, that makes it real.
Yes.
So that's why you're saying it should hurt.
Yeah.
Okay, Mikey, should love hurt?
No, not always. I mean, I think it's just like anything. You take the good with the bad. I mean, what's love without tragedy to a degree? Everything's not going to be happy on a day-to-day basis, but if it's just always painful, I think you need to leave that alone. Pain is not good for you on a long-term basis, I don't feel like.
Okay, should love hurt?
To be or not to be? That is the question. When it's just nobody in the mind and stuff that swings in their rows of outrageous fortune. Yeah, so it should definitely say it's going to her. It's going to her. It's going to her. It's a natural tragedy. Like, it's made up that way because you're not going to always agree on stuff when you're in love. You're not going to always it's not going to always be peaches and cream. So that's why it says to death do us part, because you have to understand, man, there's going to be something. There's going to be something, because we're soulmates, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be perfect. So if pain is a feeling, love is a feeling too. So I think they go hand in hand.
David, should love hurt?
No, I don't think love should hurt. Because why do people like in the most romantic movies and everything like that, when the guy tells the girl, "And I will never hurt you," or she says it to him, it's like it's not intended for it to
Not intended.
hurt. Like, that doesn't mean it should hurt. I mean, more often than not, it does come with pain and sorrow and heartbreak, but I don't think that means it should hurt. I think you should aim for it to not hurt.
Okay, so I think you're the only one that I'm vibing with so far, and I'm gonna say to underscore Lakaya, Lakiaa, should love hurt? No.
You said
It should.
what?
Lakiaa. If I'm saying it wrong, I get Lakia. My response to should love hurt, the answer is no. Yes, you'll have disagreements. That's not hurt. That's reality. Yes, you may speak a different language in communication, and you might have a bump in the road. You know, that's not hurt. That's you trying to figure each other out in terms of communication and understanding one another. I think when you partner with someone, there's a buildup of love, and you get to a foundation where love carries. I think love should carry you through hurt, pain, and all that. And then he mentioned something on the end where it was like, till death do us part. Now that part of it will hurt, because you who wants to lose their partner, you know what I'm saying? Right. But in terms of like going through a relationship and trying to figure it out, and you know, it hurting because you're expecting it to hurt or it should hurt, I don't think that's the case. I think that when you're in a relationship, your partner should know not to hurt you because you use that L word. And for me, love should not hurt, so they shouldn't cheat. They shouldn't be physical with you, because that's a form of hurt, and love should never allow anyone to do that. So if someone's saying, "But baby, I love you," and they're beating you the fuck up, that is not love to me. And anybody else could, you know, think differently about that. But I believe that love carries. Love should not hurt. Sir.
Yes, Liz.
I do think that the aim is for it not to hurt, but I don't think people necessarily go into love with the intention of hurting, but hurt does happen. You're talking about two people coming together who have their own lives, their own history, things that have happened. Mama made one who's been pepper sprayed in the face and almost got arrested. You know, I don't have as much as NFL players to lose, and if I was willing to put myself on the line, and you know, countless protesters are willing to do that, surely you can put yourself on the line and walk off the field, because it's for the betterment of your people. What is the price tag?